Park Discover's teamed up with Fota to learn more about the animals in the wildlife park. In this video, you'll hear from Linda, Donal and Rachel, who talk about some well-known woodland creatures.
So who can we spot here? This is a red squirrel. It's one of about 52 that actually live within Fota Wildlife Park at the present moment. So what's it like for the red squirrel to live in the park? What does it do here and what does it feed on? It lives high up in a variety of trees here in the wildlife park, in a nest known as a dray. Normally they live in their drays on their own. During the winter period, to help them to stay warm, they might actually decide to share their dray with perhaps one or two other red squirrels in the area as well. The little red squirrel is known as a granivore, and what that means is that he feeds mainly on seeds from different trees, even ones that you'll see here like the pine cone, for example. Of course, if food comes in short supply, it might decide to change its mind. It could feed on things like fungi. It'll feed on buds and shoots of different plant species within it, but its preference certainly is for seeds more than anything else here. Males are known as boars and female red squirrels are actually known as sows. The babies are known as kits or kittens. You can see from them that they have a thick coat, very important to keep them warm during the winter months. A very long bushy tail, which is a balancing aid for them. Sharp claws, very, very important for climbing as well. And during the winter months, they don't actually hibernate like a lot of people would assume. In actual fact, they go into what we call torpor. And torpor is just a short period of inactivity. So they may decide that when the weather gets very, very cold, that they may decide to actually stay in their drays or nests for 2 or 3 days at a time with the aim of actually saving energy. So in winter, the red squirrel has to have a backup plan. And what it decides to do in actual fact is that in the months prior to winter, it gathers much food. It spends about 75 to 90% of its time foraging for food, and it decides then to store it in what we call a midden. So a midden is almost its outdoor refrigerator. Right throughout the winter period, it'll go back and forth, depending on the weather, to actually feed from that refrigerator as well. So a very, very unique behaviour.
Donal here from Fota's education team to tell you a little bit about badgers. Badgers are an omnivorous nocturnal mammal, and they are easily recognised by the striking black and white stripes on their face. Omnivores are animals who can eat both plant and animal material, which is an advantage to badgers because they're able to switch their diet at certain parts of year depending on what's available to them. So for example, in the winter, when certain things like insects might start to die off, given the cold and harsh conditions, they can switch their diet onto something like the arils from a yew tree or other berries such as holly and ivy that they can find in their habitat. That said, at most parts of the year, badgers can feed on up to 200 earthworms in a single night, and they usually make up about 60% of their diet. Nocturnal animals are those who only come out at night. So to adapt to that, badgers need to be able to find their way around in the dark. They don't have particularly good eyesight, but they do have a super sense of smell, which is an advantage to an animal that spends a lot of its life underground as well. So badgers live in underground tunnel systems called sets, which can run for up to 300 meters, can have up to 40 openings, and can home as many as 15 badgers in a single set.
The red fox is a very familiar animal to most people, easily recognisable by its red fur and long bushy tail. It's a very successful member of the dog or canid family. Red foxes are found in a variety of habitats all around the island of Ireland. They're found in woodlands, grasslands, mountain areas, and nowadays have even found their homes in our towns and cities. They are omnivores, and as Donal mentioned, omnivores are animals that eat plant and animal material. In this woodland, foxes sit at the top of the food chain. They feed on animals like rats, mice, rabbits, and even birds. They'll forage amongst vegetation for earthworms, beetles, and insect larvae, and occasionally will ingest berries and fruit as well. As a predator, they have specific adaptations in order for them to hunt and catch the food that I've mentioned previously. They have eyes at the front of their head, this for judging distance. They can work out how far away the prey is before they make the run for the kill. As mentioned, small mammals play a big role in the diet of the red fox, and they're highly adapted to be able to locate these small mammals within this habitat. They have an amazing sense of hearing. A red fox can hear the squeak of a mouse from 25 meters away. A group of red foxes is known as a skulk. The mum or female is called a vixen, the dad or male is called a dog fox, and the young foxes are known as cubs. So foxes may not always be welcome in certain habitats. Being a predator, they may occasionally be seen as a threat. However, they have a very important job in this woodland. Being a predator, their job is to keep the number of small mammals like rabbits or rats under control.
Visit corkdiscovers.org to view the full version of this talk and another one on giraffes.